My name is Garrah White, owner of Legaci Status Boutique. I am originally from New Jersey, but I moved down here when I was about 9, 10 years old. So born New Jersey, kind of raised ATL, and then I moved to the South Side, McDonough, Hampton, and now I live here in Jackson with my husband. Been here for about 7 years. Garrah White is funny. Garrah White is funny. Garrah White, she's 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 a mom. She's a daughter. She is. I don't know. That's like a complex question. Honestly, Garrah White is. She's a really good friend. She is a hard worker. She is. If she loves you, she loves you. You know, if she loves you, she loves you. Um, if I love you, I love you. It's hard to kind of get really close to me, but once you do, you know, you're all in. And I'm a little possessive. Some of my friends may say I'm that type of friend that if you're my friend, you really can't be nobody else's friend. You really can't be nobody else's friend. But no, really, I just kind of I'm artistic. If I see something, I kind of go for it. But I am a procrastinator. I'm a procrastinator, but I think a lot of creatives are. Like we have a lot of ideas and things that we want to do, but sometimes you kind of need that person to kind of just kind of push you or keep you on track. Let me say that. But no, Garrah White is. I'm honestly, I'm someone who, when I see something, I want to go for it, and that's just I'm a lot. I'm complex. I'm complex, but I'm simple. I don't really like to be in the forefront. I really don't. Although it may not look like that. I've kind of been made to be in the forefront because I have my own business. So, I was told that, Garrah, you need to be the brand of your business. So I like to be in the background. I like to get the things together. I don't really like the camera to be on me unless it's for a picture. But that's just kind of who I am. But I love to create. I love to create, whether it's for interior, whether it's for the store, whether it's just my mind goes a million miles a minute. Okay, so I've always been into fashion. When I was in high school, I would draw my best friend at the time. Well, she's still my best friend. My best friend, she actually bought me a sketchbook, and I would sketch out different designs and ideas. So when I graduated from high school, I loved interior design and I loved fashion design. So I didn't know which one I wanted to do the most. So I first went to school and I went to school for fashion design. And then I would say after a semester of fashion design, then I switched over to interior design. I literally did that for like a whole year and a half. I literally kept switching back and forth from interior design to fashion design. And life got in the way, and I ended up dropping out of school to become a working woman because at the time I had a daughter, Jalen. It's my firstborn. And but I've always loved fashion. So I was the 10th grader in school with heels. And like that's what I did. I was a tomboy all the way up until 10th grade. And then once I hit 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade, like I literally would be wearing 3-inch heels in school, cute little dressy outfits. That kind of just how I was. And when I started corporate world, I remember my first real corporate job, I was a merchandising assistant at Macy's. Um, I had arrived. You couldn't tell me nothing. I had arrived. I was 19 years old. That was my first real corporate job, and that kind of introduced me into the merchandising world. And I would come to work, and I didn't know at the time, like, there's a corporate way to dress versus like a fashion. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm killing it. But I will never forget, I had a fellow employee. She was an older lady, and she pulled me to the side, and I would like come in with my knee-high boots, and I was cute, but it was not the right place to wear what I was wearing. So she pulled me to the side one day and she was like, I love your style. And, you do dress really good, really nice, but, maybe you don't need to wear the knee-high boots to wear. And I was offended. I was like, this old lady don't know what she's talking about. Like, I'm killing it. And it wasn't until, so I was offended, but I did kind of tone it down some. But in my mind, I didn't think anything was wrong, but I was new, I was new to this world. So I toned it down a little bit. And it wasn't until I got older when I realized that, there are just so many different types of styles, and you still can be fashionable and be, appropriate for your corporate job. But at that moment, that's when I knew this wasn't for me. Because I love to take risks with my fashion, and I wanted to get up every day and, be beautiful and wear what I wanted to wear. And it was a struggle for me, but, I had responsibilities. So for years, I stayed in the corporate world, started off in fashion. I started off in merchandising. And then shortly after that, when the economy tanked, our corporate office closed, and then I went to interior design. I became a buyer for a furnishing company, and I got to travel all over the world, actually. And I went to Canada. Like, we would install different stores. So I enjoyed that, and that's what really put a fire under me to really start to pursue interior design. And then from there, I went to Georgia State for interior design, but that fashion was still burning in me. I created Jaylene Creations. I was like 2013, and I was at Georgia State. And I remember for my final art assignment, I had to do a project, and it was called Emotions. So I painted these different faces, and at the time I painted what I was feeling. So one of them was like a screaming face, and one of them was like, I called it F you. That was because that was one of the emotions that I felt at the time. I was just going through a lot during that time period. And a friend of mine, when he saw the pictures, he said, you need to put those on a shirt. Like, those would be hot if you put those on a shirt. And I was like, really? And I just did. I put it on a shirt. And those sweatshirts blew up. Like, my entire church, the most supportive church in the world, SVOP, they all started ordering the shirts, and then it kind of blew up from there, and they was ordering the shirts, and then I just started creating different things. So Jaylene Creations was kind of always in effect. I came up with the name Jaylene Creations because my daughter, my firstborn, her name is Jalen, and my middle name is Darlene. So I kind of put the two together. I know, a little cheesy, but it was Jaylene Creations. So from there, we did t-shirts and different tank tops, and it was with my original art drawings, and we sold jewelry. And we did that for about 5 years. I would say from like 2013, I would go to different shows. I would set up pop-up shops. We would, and I stuck with it for a while. And then life happened again. And, I started working because we had to pay bills. So I had to get a real job at the time. So I thought I had to get a real job. And from 2000, I would say 15 up until 2018, I was fine with just working my corporate job. And then it was just, when you have a fire and when you have a passion in you, it's never going to go away. So even if you have to feed it. And it just started burning in me more. And I prayed about it. And I just never felt like it was the right time in my mind. Where am I going to get the money to start my own business? How is it going to happen? I don't even know the steps to take. So I would say in about 2017, me and my husband was talking, and I really wanted to open up my own store. Had no idea Had no idea how to even begin to do that. I just knew that it was time, and I really wanted to do it. And you know, we live in Jackson. We moved to Jackson, and we had been here for about 4 or 5 years at the time. And I always would either have to shop in Atlanta, or I would have to go to Tanger Outlet, and there was just nothing in the square. The square is actually a little more popping than it was back then. And I finally wanted to do it. I was 38 years old. I figured if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. He was very supportive. Now at the time, I'm still working my full-time corporate job. So the other thing was, where am I going to have time to actually do this, but knowing that I still have to work a full-time job? So I did like most Black women do. I figured it out, and with the help of my husband, my family, my friends, honestly, what we did was, I did not want to go into a business having to take out a loan and having to start my business already owing. So what we did was, we used our savings and we used our income tax refund, and I just felt like that was the best decision for us. A lot of people, you know, ask, well, how do you start? People always ask me, well, how do you even begin to start? The first thing is save up. My sister told me, it was the best piece of advice that she ever gave me. She said, always start a business with at least 6 months worth of reserve. So when you open up, you need to have at least 6 months set aside. So if your business is not bringing in anything, you still have at least 6 months of reserve set aside for whenever you may need it. And I have stuck with that to this day. I always try to have at least 6 months of reserve just set aside, just in case anything ever happens. And we all know that we all went through a pandemic, so clearly stuff happened. But so I just started doing some research. There was a space available in the square, and I had looked at this space honestly in 2015. I looked at the space and I was like, this is going to be where my store is. This is where we actually started. But in 2015, I thought that I was ready, but I wasn't ready. God knows. He knows clearly, perfect timing, because I wasn't ready, and I was disappointed when it fell through and it you know, nothing came from it. Fast forward to 2018.
Excited. It's truly a dream come true. Like, as long as anybody has known, this is what I wanted to do. And this fact that it's happening, and it's happening on this level. You know, I'm nervous because, you know, you just want people to like the stuff that you bought. You want people to, you know, like what you envisioned in your head. But so far, all the reactions have been positive. I'm just excited, but I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. But I think it's going to be a success. I know it's going to be a success. This is God's plan.
The space was available. We went and looked at it, and I prayed about it. And it was one of those things where once I signed this lease, this is it. So I remember how nervous I was when I signed the lease, and you know, I signed the lease, and it was exciting, it was exhilarating, but it was also scary because I had never done anything like this before. Having an online boutique is one thing, but having a brick and mortar storefront with overhead and employees, it's just, you know, it's a whole nother beast. So, but you know, we started it with the help of family, and it hasn't been easy, but you know, we did our research. Trying to find, at the time, I didn't have anybody to call to ask for the blueprint and, you know, get advice on how do you do this or how do you do that. I didn't know anybody who had their own boutique. I knew people who had online, and even back then, it wasn't as big as it is now. So I just kind of had to wing it. And through prayer, through help with, you know, friends and family, I kind of just went off my own vibe of what I like, you know, in fashion. And I just started finding vendors and sourcing different vendors. And it was a process. I would wake up, go to work, get off of work, come down to the store, and I would be at that store 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, trying to set up, putting up fixtures, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. There were times when my kids were sleeping on the hardwood floor as I'm painting, and because they were younger, so they had to be with me. So it would be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they're on the floor with a blanket while I'm working. But I had to do what I had to do. My husband would come down and, he'll come get the kids and he'll be at the house while I'm still working. We figured it out, and it took us about 4 months to finally open up, and we opened up May 12th of 2018, and our grand opening was it was a success, and we haven't looked back since. We have been going forward ever since. We started across the street, and then April of 2019, we got the opportunity to actually move across the street to where we are now in the middle of the square, and it was more accessible to customers, because where we were before, you had to take stairs, and we had a couple older people who say, I want to come see your store, baby, but I can't do them stairs. So we're now more accessible. The space is beautiful, and we have grown. Every year it gets better and better. We've grown. Numbers are doing really well. It's been a blessing so far. My biggest struggle is fear. It's the fear of, because I currently right now, I still work my corporate job. And it's the fear of completely walking away from what or what you think is steady income to truly 100% go full force. And that is something that I've struggled with for so long, is to, really diving head first 100% into Legaci Status. And I have, I've had many talks, many late nights with my husband and on what we should do and what I should do. And I know that eventually I can't keep doing this forever. So I would say for a long time, I let fear stop me from completely moving forward. But if I am not going to believe in myself, I can't expect anybody else to believe in me and in my brand. And I do know that when I dedicate 100% of myself to Legaci Status is when I will truly be able to go where God has me, where the plan that He has for this business. So, it's coming. It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner, because I'm only one person, and you can't. Sometimes you just gotta let go. You have to let go of the fear and actually walk into what it is. And when you have a whole family that's dependent on you, and kids in college and everything. But I believe in myself. I believe in this business. I believe in my brand. My biggest accomplishment is doing it. So the fact that I pull up to my store every day, that Legaci Status is on a building, that it's happened, that I get joy when people come into the store and they're excited about clothes that the clothes that they see, and when they're tagging me, I get excited to see people excited about Legaci Status. When people beef Legaci Status up, I'm like, yeah, girl, you're cute. Like, I love it. It just to make women feel beautiful, no matter what size, no matter what shape. We're gonna find something that's gonna work for you. And to even introduce women to different styles and different looks, and show them how they can take this and take that and put it together, and they're surprised about how their bodies can fit or look in a certain look, because sometimes it takes someone else to see a vision. A lot of times we get a lot of customers who don't quite see it, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it's going to be so cute. And when you see their shock and their surprise and they're happy about how well they look, like, that brings joy to me. Like, making women feel, I'm the first one to beef another woman up. Like, I am. I don't feel like there's a need for competition. I love a beautiful woman. I mean, this is how my partner Kayla has came into the business. She tried on a pair of jeans, and she came in as a customer. She tried on a pair of jeans, and when she came out that dressing room and I saw how she looked in them jeans, I was like, oh, ma'am, you about to be my model. You killing them jeans. So, like, I love to make women feel beautiful. Like, that's one of my biggest accomplishments, the fact that I actually did it. Advice I would give to young Black women is to not let fear stop you to do it. Even if you fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Get back up again, Donnie, and do and do it. Like I've been. It's what, I'm 41 years old. 41 years old, and I started this process when I was in high school. So no matter how long it takes, just keep doing it. Like just don't give up. And I'm telling you, you're gonna take some L's, you're gonna take some losses, but it is so worth it in the end. I'm still learning, but I refuse to give up. I have not come this far. So, and we're built for this. Black women, we are built for this. We're strong. And I just feel like, never listen to what somebody else tells you. If you know in your heart that you're meant to do something, if God has told you that you're meant to do it, then do it. And God will put those people in your life and in your path that will help you, succeed and move forward. But just don't let fear stop you from doing it. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of times we don't want to ask for help because we were so made to just be strong and just kind of, do it on our own. And I still am learning that. Like, I'm still learning to ask for help. I don't like to. It's hard because you kind of feel like, I don't know, you kind of feel like a failure, but never just ask for help. Just never be too scared to ask for help. So what's next for Legacy Status? We have a few things in the work. Anybody that knows, like I said earlier, I love interior design. So eventually there will be a Legacy Status home. That definitely will be a branch of our brand. It's going to be, I just be on the lookout. There are going to be some surprises in the works coming in a few months, and it's going to be something that's needed, especially for the city of Jackson. So Jackson, be on the lookout for some future endeavors that's going to be happening with Legacy Status. You can find us online, legacystatus.com. We're Facebook, Legacy Status, Instagram, Legacy Status, TikTok, Legacy Status, and also our brick and mortar is 24 North Mulberry Street, Jackson, Georgia, 30233. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. I don't know. I just feel like go for your goals. You have one life to live. Don't be fearful. If it's in you, then do it. Listen, if we all got through 2020, 2021 is the year to just go for it. It just really is. Take your L's, get up until you get a W. Like, that's kind of just where I am right now. Have faith, just believe that God is going to see you through it. And surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who truly have your best interest at heart. And right now, 2021, what I'm doing is I am manifesting everything that it is that God said I would be, everything that it is that I know that I can be. I'm speaking it and I'm manifesting it. This is the year for me, for everything that I want to just start walking into it. And that's, just make 2021 your year. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, Nike. Is that it? Child, because that was about to go a whole nother child. You was about to get some tears and stuff in there. I was like, girl, don't do that.
I thought when you took a second, I should have taken a second. So I really wasn't going to be.
That's why I went ahead and stopped, because I was like, if I keep talking, child.
You should not have. It would have been bad. After today, it would have been bad.
Right, Tasha about to be behind the camera crying. Like.